Hey Shane, how you doing?
Good, Dan. How are you?
Good. Thank you for accepting this interview, man.
No problem.
Hey, so the first time we saw each other was at WBC. What,
Yeah,
2 years ago?
yeah. I was just looking that up. The pictures. I think it was 2018. So
2018. Oh man.
maybe
And
19. Yeah, it was a while back.
yeah, time flies, man.
Hmm.
So Shane,
Yeah.
first of all, how did you ever get into war games? And
Uh,
when also?
Actually, I a lot of people you have on the show that play war games in college and stuff like that. I wasn't really like that. When I was younger, I always had an interest in military history and stuff. So I kind of got into like just playing with plastic army men and stuff like that. And then once I got older, I actually on the sports team I was playing on, some of the guys on that played war games, and that's kind of how I got into it back then in my
Okay.
early 20s.
And why the graphic arts? What made you do that?
Well, when I got into it, I originally started with some computer games, and I just thought a lot of the board war games could use some improvement for the artwork anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
So I decided to put my hat in the ring and try working on some of those, and I came up with my own game system to work on that I enjoyed. Like basically, like I've always liked squad level games. Like once I got into it, and I thought I'd make my own system up for it.
And so, what was the first game you designed?
The actual very first game I did work on was for Matrix Games, the Conflict of Heroes series. Actually, their computer version of Conflict of Heroes. So,
how long ago was that?
oh, that was 2014, 15.
Was that where you met David Heath?
No, I met David Heath later. This was working with Eric at. Well, at that time it was Matrix Games. Now it's Slytherin. Matrix Games was Western Civilization Software. I worked with that developer, getting those games out. But it's always been just kind of a hobby for me, not really a full-time thing.
And is it a full-time thing now? Like with the game designing and the graphic arts?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Actually, I took early retirement July 1st from my real job, I guess you could say, and so this gives me lots of work to do doing this. Like I do my own game designs, and then I do also do the artwork for a bunch of other companies for their games. So
yeah. And Mark Walker. How did you get to know Mark Walker?
When I first got in touch with Mark, he was just starting up Flying Pig, and at that time I had my old school tactical game developed for about I'd been working on it for about 2 years, and I remember Mark when he first started Flying Pig Games, he put out that he's looking for artists. So I sent him an email and I sent him a link to some of my stuff, and he liked the art, and hey Kenneth, and he saw all my work on the squad level game, and he asked me about it, and so we got in conversation with it, and we ended up doing a deal for that and moving forward.
Cool. And it's funny, I spoke to Mark, and I said, what's your, because I think it was Old School Tactical. I said, Shayne Logan designed a game by Mark Walker, and I said, Mark, what do you got your name on that for? And he said, it's Shayne. Shayne wanted me to put my name on it.
Yeah, well, he made the game. I do everything for it, but it's his company, it's his game, right? So that's just how I thought it was. So
I see. Okay, so it's cool. Is there any so look, going back to David Heath, off the top of my head, I forgot, what have you designed for David Heath, And are you the designer, right? Not the designer, but the graphic designer. What I say? Are you the graphic designer for Point Blank?
Yeah, yeah. I did all the artwork for Point Blank and like all the cards and the map and all that stuff. It's been done. My work on it's been done for probably a couple of years now. Sean's worked on it for a long time.
Yeah, I know.
And so it's nice to see it coming out finally. And I also did all the work for a Contact Now series, but it went from Lock and Load, and it's actually with Compass right now. So we're just wrapping that up.
Okay, so you're doing some design. You're doing some art design for Compass, or are you doing some game designing also?
I've got other games, but mostly I've done like I think I've got like 3 Compass games on the go right now, just the artwork, and then I've got 3 completed. I did 1 for their magazine. I did 2 box games that have been completed. So they've given me lots of work to do for the artwork.
Are you gonna get a gig designing for Compass? Have they shown any interest?
I don't know. Maybe I haven't really shown any of my other designs yet. So it's always a chore having time to do everything, right?
Yeah, of course, man. And I know, like, the design. Are you quick to design games, or you're like, you take a really long time, make sure everything's fine? Because some guys design games in 2 years, and I don't know how they do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, like a one-off, I think it might be a bit easier, like than the like the system game. There's so many moving pieces to a tactical system game that you have to kind of get everything kind of meshing together right. Whereas like a one-off might be a little bit easier to put forward and develop and stuff. But and like, of course, with a system game, you have to, like, I have to keep creating more content for it, right? We've had like 3 full volumes now, and
yeah.
I'm not sure how many expansions, and then there's always stuff to design for that.
You're talking about old school tactical, right?
Yeah.
Now,
like
so
right
after the Pacific one,
Mm-hmm.
because you got a bulge one, if I'm not mistaken. It's an expansion, right?
Yeah, Ghost Front.
Yeah, you got Stalingrad.
Yeah, expansion.
You have the Airborne.
Yeah, and Hellbent.
And Hellbent. What about Armageddon? Were you in? Did you have anything to do with Armageddon?
Yeah, I was. I did all the artwork for that for Mark.
Now, so when you got a gig doing the artwork,
mm-hmm.
and then knowing you're a designer, do they ask you for input on designing? Your opinion on designing, or is it just strictly a gig just for art?
Well, I think I have a bit of an advantage where I can come at it from both ways. Like, where it's like if I see something on a counter where I think it doesn't make sense, I might mention it to them. But at the end of the day, it's their design, how they want it.
Yeah, I know.
But I can give them a perspective from what I've done as well.
And
which I think is valid.
Sorry?
Which I think is valid.
Yes, of course. Didn't you do one of those Tiny Battle Publishing folio games?
No, I haven't done anything for them. I did, like I say, I did the one for Paper Wars for Compass.
Right. You did the game for the Paper Wars one.
Just the artwork for the game.
Just the artwork, okay.
For Sean Chick, I'm actually doing a 4-mapper quad game for him for American Civil War.
Okay.
At present, so.
And you seem to focus on tactical a lot.
Yeah, that's what I like the best. I just find it's more like the battle just seems more realistic to me. Like it's not huge areas looking for 2-to-1 odds, 3-to-1 odds. It seems like more of a movie or a narrative to it that I like. It's I don't know. It seems more
manageable, eh?
Yeah,
I know. I can't seem to wrap my head around strategic, man. It's so huge. It's like, I don't, maybe I've got the wrong way of looking at it, man, but I'm more of a tactical guy too. Like, you must have played Ambush, right?
No. Actually, like I say, like a lot of you guys been playing for years, and you've played like hundreds of games. Like I don't have that kind of experience. I've like I played a lot of Squad Leader and stuff like that. I didn't get into ASL.
Yeah.
And actually, when I first started, I started out strategic games. I played a lot of Empire in Arms and Napoleonic and World in Flames, actually, with a group of guys on my ball team. We used to play in the off seasons, and but then I got into the Squad Leader, and I thought, even though I don't like ASL, one thing I think they've always done right is there's just so many scenarios, so many forces, so many things to do, and like that's one thing I like about that. It's just so many different stories in that game system.
And what's your favorite era?
Probably, I don't know that I got a favorite era. I think it's probably World War II, just because the amount of material, right? And the sides are like a lot of the modern stuff. Like it's so lopsided as far as the sides, like opposing forces compared to the modern forces. Whereas back in World War II and Korea and stuff like that, it was more of an even playing field sort of thing.
Okay, and I know a lot of your games are very chit oriented, and what I mean by that, it's not many cards. It's not heavily card driven.
No.
Is there a reason for that?
Well, like I said, it's just mostly just like an old school game. Like it's the only cards I have are the luck cards, and the data cards I think are handy, so you don't have to have like 50 numbers on a counter or anything like that, and it helps out just to set them to the side. I don't know. I just like to keep it streamlined and as simple as I could make it, and hide as much of the detail under the hood, kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's funny because I love those games, man. And the thing is that they are huge games. Like, they're big boxes. It's meaty. Whose idea was to like go crazy on that? Huge mounted maps, man. And when I say huge, I don't think I've ever seen a bigger mountain map. Yeah.
Well, I designed those maps to be big and to use portions of it up to like the full map. It seemed more immersive to me to have it instead of like chunks of maps joined up.
Yeah.
So I know some people don't like it, so we're like, we did the pocket battles as well now, so it's kind of like everybody can have what they like. But I like the big map. It just seemed more immersive, more realistic.
Yeah, I know. I like them too, man, and it's very impressive when you look at them. You know.
Thanks.
Excuse me. And so, I mean, what's next for Old School Tactical? You got something coming up, man?
Yeah, well, right now we're doing a second edition of Volume 1. We needed a reprint, so instead of just doing a reprint, I redid all the artwork on the counters and stuff because it was kind of rushed the first game, so I wanted to make those better, and I changed the scenario book to match the new styles, the latest versions, and all that. So it's got like an artwork overhaul on it. I might do some other stuff on it if I have time. The art, and after that is I got Volume 4, which is Italian theater with Commonwealth.
Wow. Okay.
I got one map done for that, and a bunch of the counters, and been playtesting that. And then I also have I'll show you a couple of my maps here for this is for OST Modern. So that's Afghanistan. Canadians in Afghanistan. The first one in Modern, and then another playtest map for the Modern stuff is Okay, that's the Canadian Forces alert base up in the Arctic.
Okay.
So that's something I've been working with too.
And
So,
and
yeah.
what's the Arctic game?
It's Canadian Forces as well. It's kind of a hypothetical, cool stuff with Russians and Canadians up at the up in the Arctic.
When do you think this is going to be coming out?
Probably next year. That stuff.
Who's going to be publishing it?
Well, I think that would be Mark as well.
Mark, okay, under Flying Pigs, right?
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, it's an old school tactical system, so I'd.
And it's going to be the big production thing, the heavy maps and all that same thing.
I imagine it would. Like, we haven't really dealt with that yet. We're still working on some of the other stuff, but
okay.
I imagine it would. Those maps are a bit smaller. They're 22 by 34, so like a standard size rather than 30 by 41. So a little small.
And is there a reason? I don't know if all designers do this, but you have many designs going at once. If you were just, is there a reason for that? And what I mean by that is that if you were just to design one game, would you get bored after a certain time? Would it become tedious? Is that why you have so many games happening at the same time?
I don't think so. I think it's like a writer. They've always got things going around in their head. Like,
yeah,
you might watch a movie or read a book or something like that, and they'll get a good idea, and they'll think about it. Like, I'd like to do something on that. So I usually on my computer I'll have like a few folders with different things, and I'll just start putting assets in there, whether it's just pictures or stuff like that, just so I can keep reminding myself. And then I might get a map in there a little later and stuff like that.
So how long does it take you to design a game to completion approximately?
Usually about probably a year. It all depends. Like,
really, eh?
Yeah, it all depends. The hard part for me is getting in all the play testing, right? So,
do you have a certain play testing group?
Yeah, I have a couple guys I play all the old school tactical with around here. They've been like tactical gamers for like a long time, like 30 years or whatever, old ASL players. So they help me a lot with all my scenarios for old school tactical.
And what about the research for all these subjects, man?
A lot of books, but there's only so many books that thick you can read for a game, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
So I do a lot of like for the Afghanistan. I think I ordered. I think I had like 7 books I read, and then you also. What's really good are those Osprey books. They're expensive, but they got a lot of info packed into them. So I use a lot of Osprey.
And I've got the Italian game in my head there that you're designing. I guess that's Operation Husky, right?
That would be trying to think of all the different names. Husky is Sicily.
Yeah.
And I forget the name of the operation going into the boot. And then there's Anzio and actually yeah, there's one of the books I had for the Italian campaign, Hell and High Water.
Okay.
But there's a lot of engagements there that were really they were tough. Like
absolutely.
With all the blood, all the hills, all the mountains.
Yeah, all the terrain, especially. And my mom comes from around Anzio, Montecasino.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to feature Montecasino, the Battle for Montecasino in that one there?
Oh, I would have some scenarios for sure. Yeah.
And we're looking at how many scenarios for that?
Oh, I can't say right now. I don't have the title. Like when I do my scenarios, I just have like little legal pads, and I just got all kinds of pages filled with them, and then it gets pared down and tightened up towards the end.
And so creating a scenario for something like that, how do you start and where do you stop because you can go on and on and on and make it huge. Like, so how do you start creating a scenario?
Most of the time, it comes from when I'm reading these books and stuff. I'll come across a passage, and that'll kind of tweak my interest. That'd be a good scenario going on there. So I come up with a section of the map, or if the map hasn't been designed yet, I'll make sure I design a section of the map to work with that scenario.
I see. Okay.
There, yeah. Now we play it a few times and see how it works, and sometimes it works, sometimes it's a piece of crap, and you get rid of it. So.
Yeah, I understand. Are you going to have the whole map of Italy, or just certain sections?
Well, it's just like a 30 by 41 again, just like terrain with like olive groves, a lot of hills, stuff like that, rivers.
Okay. And do you know how far north you're going to go with this game? In Italy, that is.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm not sure. It would like all the scenarios are kind of independent of one another normally. So yeah, so
And is there any? Let me see here. Italy. Are you going to have any naval stuff happening in that game?
No, it's strictly like old school tactical on the ground stuff.
Okay, so the system doesn't change at all. Any different? I'm not gonna. I don't want to say improvements, but any. What am I trying to say here? Are you going to expand on the rules you already have for old school tactical, or is it basically once you play an old school tactical, you can play all the games?
Pretty much, like every. Like with Old School Tactical 3, of course, with the Japanese, there's a few special rules we had to introduce, like the bonsai rules, and Japanese didn't have any gut check numbers, stuff like that. So depending on the theater, like if there might be a couple extra rules put in, they'll be put in like the playbook. So
okay, and any
rules are the same. So
any event cards?
No, I don't have event cards other than just the luck cards. So.
There's no interest in event cards?
I think Lock and Load does event cards.
Yeah, but I think I don't know. I think they're phasing it out, man. For some reason, people don't like events. I love events.
Yeah. Like the, I think the luck card is pretty much the same. Other than, I don't know. I don't have event cards for my games, so.
Okay. And do you still play these games, man? Once you do it, do you play it or you shelve it?
Well, the problem is once I finish the one game, I'm like play testing the next and play testing the next, and so it's hard to go back to like my older games and play them again unless I play at like a convention or something like that. And
are you planning on going at any conventions anytime soon?
I don't know. I would have liked to have gone to that WBC again, but like a shelf with everything else, right? So
yeah, but I mean,
next year.
I think they were thinking about doing WBC, but they were talking about wearing a mask all the time. And look, I understand wearing a mask, but man, can you wear a mask like for 12 hours a day in a room playing a game?
No,
I can't do it, man. I can't do it.
Yeah.
And, what part of you're Canadian, just like I am.
Yeah.
But where are you? You're in Ontario.
Southern Ontario, right on the North Shore of Lake Erie.
Like what? Lake Erie? You're close to Detroit.
Well, yeah, Detroit would be. I'm kind of like right in the middle. That little long point's right in the middle of the lake there. It's a.
So how far are you from Cornwall?
Cornwall, I don't know, can't really think of that.
Because that's the closest I am to Ontario. I'm about 10 minutes from Ontario, and the first town I hit is Cornwall.
Yeah, I think I'd be probably 4 hours away from.
Oh, that far, man. Okay.
Yeah. I'm right on Lake Erie.
So, do you do any fishing?
Not much anymore.
No, huh?
No.
In Lake Erie, is it clean?
Uh, clean as any lake, I guess.
Yeah, nah, I don't know about it.
I got my own pool, so I don't swim in the lake too much anymore. I like the
And
lake up north.
yeah, but did the heat break a few days ago?
Oh, it's still hotter as a mofo here now.
Oh man, I mean the heat broke over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, just today, but I think it rained, so you know what? It's really humid again. So, anyways, hey,
Yeah.
do you have any chance to play any other games other than war games?
No, I don't have a lot of experience with all these games and stuff. I just haven't had time. Even
Yeah,
even with other war games, I'd like to learn some more. Like uh, I'm doing work on an operational game right now for a company in France. When I get that copy, I'd like to learn how to play it just for something different.
yeah. So you're not like a yeah. As soon as you said operational, Ardwulf came to head. Are you a multi-band publishing fan?
Like I say, I don't have big. All my shelves are full of books, not games really. I don't have a ton of games.
No. And look, as an artist, man, where do you get your ideas?
Uh, Geez, I don't know.
Like what? You watch TV and it's like, bing.
Well, a long time. I kind of gave up my painting and all that quite a few years back. It was just I just didn't have time for it, so I got rid of my easel and all my paints and stuff like that. And so now I just strictly stick with digital. And
Really?
I just come up with like you see stuff and you try new techniques. You see what other people do, and you just try and recreate it digitally, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
That one of my I like the Tiny Battle Publishing uh B movie type
Mhm.
art. Were you involved in that?
Um, no, my last that Phantom Divisions, I did the cover kind of like that, like a comic book.
I have it here, man.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, exactly. I love I man. I just love this, like the fonts and all that. Now,
Yeah.
are you going that way? Is this like a trend? Are we taking this further?
Yeah, well, I'm working on a second one for when we do the reprint for Volume One. It'll be like a new pocket battle, like a small box like that with late war Russian tanks and the paper maps and stuff.
And what do you call this pocket battle?
Because when we originally came out with those maps, we called them pocket maps. So I figured I'd call it pocket battles. And that's like the
What
first one.
were you thinking something like old Steve Jackson games, something like this? Is that what you were thinking?
Oh no, just a smaller version of old school tactical for like a smaller footprint on your table, smaller box, and
And why was there a need for that? Other than like, did you feel guilty because you made these wonderful, huge mounted maps, which I love? I mean, this is it.
just something different.
So, what's your next one in these pocket battles?
It's 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 got to do with Operation Bag Ration on the Eastern Front in
Okay.
44. So you got like the heavier Russian tanks, and yeah, it's been pretty good actually. It's the playtest scenario has been really good.
No, I think it's great, man. And they're not very difficult games, which I appreciate
No,
so
no,
much, man. You
yeah,
know,
yeah. That was the point. Like, there's so many games where it's kind of like a kitchen sink design, where it's like something comes up and well, we'll just put it in there and add another paragraph into the rules. And I'd rather not do that and keep it more playable.
yeah, I'm trying to get some of my friends into it, man. But he's telling me, don't you like ancient games? Don't you like ancient games? What about ancient games,
Mhm.
Shayne? Are you gonna do any ancient games?
I've been trying to like, I do know a lot about the ancient periods, like other than like what you learned in school, right? I've been starting to get some books and read about some of that ancient stuff. because I didn't know a lot about it. So there's a lot of interesting stuff there. I don't know how I do an ancient war game though.
You're talking about like the strategy stuff, like how I don't understand it because everything is a block thing. Like what, you charge each other and it's like a meat grinder. Whoever survives, that's who wins.
Yeah, it's just I don't know how I would design something like that. It just seems like you say, it's just all brute force, and then seems one side breaks or one section of the line, and I don't know a lot about it.
Because it's funny, because I was looking at a biography on Alexander the Great, and for some reason he flanks, and that freaked everybody out, the flanking. And I thought, well, what, are you kidding me, man? Obviously, you're gonna flank these guys. And I don't know if that was a new technique, but I thought, bloody hell, of course, flank the guy. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Anyways, you know what I mean. Any Napoleonic games you're gonna do? No,
actually, the couple that I'm working on right now are I'm trying to do design a couple solitaire from the ground up. So the one I'm kind of excited about is like that game, the Raid on Saint Nazaire.
Yeah.
I've never played it, but it looks really cool. So I've been researching it, and I've been trying to apply some of that stuff to like the Raid on Dieppe.
So you're going to be doing a solitaire game on that?
I'd like to, yeah, solitaire from the ground up.
Any interest from any publishers?
I just started working on it, so I'm not ready to show anybody anything yet. But
yeah, because I mean, solo games are big now. I mean, look at Gregory M. Smith, man. He's milking that system for absolutely everything that you can find, and I like that stuff because man, you could choose any subject you want. You know what I mean? Now he's coming out with the tank ace, and the game you said you were doing solitaire, was it on Dieppe?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like it's like I really like the map and some of the mechanics and the Raid on Saint Nazareth or whatever.
Raid on Saint Nazaire.
Yeah, Raid on Saint Nazaire. So I thought I would try something like that with Dieppe.
Now the Dieppe,
it'd have to be hypothetical, a lot of it. Otherwise, like, you're not going to want a game where everybody's just stuck on the beach.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to have a couple of things, take a couple things differently, just so it would be a good game.
Now, did you see the latest movie of Dieppe with Cillian Murphy?
No.
The one that just came out with Kenneth Branagh, Cillian Murphy. Dieppe, man. No,
that's Dunkirk.
Oh, Dunkirk, for God's sake. Sorry, man. Did you see that? What'd you think?
Yeah, I saw the Dunkirk one.
What'd you think?
Oh, it was all right. It was different. It was okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I've got Dieppe and Dunkirk. And the same thing in my head, man. Wrong thing. But you know, these going back to these pocket games.
Yeah.
This is super interesting. So these are standalone, right?
No, they usually need counters out of the that's from volume 2. Right. Yeah.
Now, are you going to have any standalone box games like that?
Well, they'll always kind of need like the next
core game.
Yeah, but you're going to have you're usually going to have the base game if you're going to order that, right? So.
But no chance of getting standalone box games like this?
I don't think so, because then you'd have to put like a big rule book in it and everything else, right?
Well, big is relative, eh?
Yeah.
I mean, the rule books that you do, Shayne, they're not huge, man, which is good.
No.
You know,
it's like 25 pages or something like that. But
yeah, and is that including scenarios?
No.
Okay. Are you planning on having also like a core rule book like Lock and Load does?
Yeah, well, that's kind of what we have now. We have like the main rule book, and then I have like a playbook that's got the scenarios and any specific rules for that volume.
Any more scenarios that you're going to build on with the old school tacticals that we can just either download or buy the scenarios?
Yeah, it's probably a good idea. I just haven't had time to just do that. Had so many different things to do right now.
But doesn't Mark co-design some scenarios with you?
He did in that Pocket Battles. He designed those scenarios, and usually in the Kickstarter he'll toss a few in that he designs.
So what's you're republishing? What, Old School Tactical Volume 1?
Right. Yeah.
When's that coming out?
He hasn't set a date for like I think he wants to do it as a Kickstarter, so he hasn't set a date for that. So
any other than the artwork being different, any other different stuff in there?
All I did was I added like 2 small training scenarios into the book. So just to help new players, it's just small. I think they're like 4 turns with a bunch of text in it, just to say what's going on, basically.
And what happens to the people who already have, like me, who already have the first edition of that? Is there anything different in the second edition that I'm going to have to get?
No, it's just mostly just new art.
And how different will the art be? Like right now, your art is pretty consistent in the Old School Tacticals. Like, why change the art, man? Because you're gonna get flack, eh? You know you're gonna. Get flack.
Well, I do that. But if you're gonna go through printing it, why not make it better? Like, you don't have to buy it for the new counters, basically.
So it's just nothing's different except the artwork.
Right.
What about the box artwork? Is that going to change too?
Yeah, the box art's different.
Wow. Okay, so it's basically you're revamping the whole.
A lot of stuff is fixed, but like you don't need it. Like I'm not trying to make people that already bought it buy a new one. It's just that we're going to the trouble of printing new copies, so I want to bring it up to the standards of the newer ones. So
are you going to do the same thing with Volume 2?
No, Volume 2 and Volume 3 and everything after like Volume 2 can't really be improved upon. So.
But you're not going to change the artwork for that? No.
Volume 2's actually already been reprinted once, and we just went with a straight reprint.
And I mean, isn't that in a publishing sense? Isn't that more expensive, or is it the same thing?
It's just it's more expensive with my time redoing all the artwork, but
right.
He's still printing the same amount of material and stuff, so I don't think it's going to be any more expensive for him.
Because don't they have the blueprints? For lack of a better word, don't they have the files for the original one? So wouldn't it be easier? Bang bang.
It doesn't take anything for us to send them new files. Like it's all based on the old, like on our templates from before, right?
Yeah.
So I just changed the artwork on the counter templates, so it's still going to be following the same templates for them.
Whose idea was that?
It was mostly mine to change the artwork. I wasn't really happy with the counter artwork on the first game.
Really, eh?
Yeah, it was like I say, it was kind of rushed, and I ran out of time to redo it before the Kickstarter, and so I just thought I'd do it now while we're getting reprinted.
And the Italian one, that's going to be Kickstarted too, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys? I don't remember when Mark kickstarts something. Does he have a lot of stretch goals, or no? He doesn't believe in stretch goals.
Yeah, we usually have some, not a ton. Like I know last time, I think we did like those the things for the side of the map and stuff like that.
Oh, right. Okay.
Neoprene mats and stuff like that. It's mostly just just adding stuff onto the base game. We don't do a whole ton of stuff.
I got a question here by Mickey. When it comes to a tactical simulation, can you tell me why a Hex Encounter board game would be superior to miniature games, such as Bolt Action and FOW? I can't. FOW, what's that?
Flames of War?
Flames of War.
Okay.
Yeah, how come you never went to miniatures, man?
Oh, I don't know. That would take up a lot of space. And you gotta paint all that stuff too, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's why I don't do miniatures, because I don't see myself painting. First of all, my eyes are not good anymore, so I can't do. You know, and my hands shake as I'm getting older. So, but he asks here, why would the Hex Encounter board game be superior to miniature games?
I don't think it's necessarily superior. It just seems more compartmentalized, kind of like you have your set of rules here, and this guy can shoot into that hex, and then like with I don't know a ton about miniatures, but you're using like
neither do I, man.
Using tape measures and stuff like that. And there's a lot of eyeballing stuff, I think. So I think it's more seems a bit more cut and dry on the hex map.
Oh, you're saying the miniatures look a little bit more loose on the rules end?
I think so, but I could be way off. I don't play miniatures, but from what I've seen.
Yeah, it's funny. The only miniatures channel I look at is these guys called Little Wars TV.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have time to check out any of these content creators?
Oh yeah, I watch content creators all the time. Yeah, like a lot of times when I'm working, like if I'm working on art or whatever, a lot of times I'll put that ARDWULF'S
yeah.
Encounters. I put that on the side and I kind of listen to him ramble on while I'm doing my artwork.
Yeah, I know, but it's funny because I do a show with this guy on Wednesday with ARDWULF, and he's just a wealth of knowledge. This guy.
That's what I was going to say. He's very knowledgeable.
It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah. Yeah,
I love working with him, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
What other content creators you check out? You ever check out Whiskey Charlie or?
Usually that's case by case. Like I watch your stuff. I watch Mo's. Not all their. But if I see a game, I say, well, I'd like to see what that is, then I'll watch it. But I don't watch every week. Same as like STUKAJOE. Like if he's doing something that I think I like to know more about, I'll watch that episode.
Right. Right now, STUKAJOE's at the Consim World. Hey, you have no interest in going to Consim World?
Oh, I'd like to go to that one. That one looks like a cool one. But yeah, I haven't gone to that one.
No, it's in Arizona. I don't think I can take the heat, man.
Arizona and this time of year would be hot. Yeah.
Oh my God, I would be a miserable wretch. You'd hate to be around me, man, because everybody just
looks like a nice venue, though. Looks like a nice hotel.
Of course. You know what's closest to us? I think the Compass Game Expo. It's in
Connecticut.
Yeah. You planning on going to that one?
I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to fly, or I don't know how long of a drive that would be.
For me, I think it's only like 6 hours.
Well, that's not bad.
I think it's 6 hours.
Yes, I think it took us like 8 hours to drive to WBC.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it took me 10 hours.
Yeah.
I have to break it up because I can't do a 10-hour drive. It doesn't work for me, man.
Yeah, it's a long way.
Well, man, I get all dazed. You know, I'm so focused, and it's like, oh my God, I'm finished. So I had to break it up. But anyways, I stopped in Ithaca, New York, which, by the way, I didn't know, but Ithaca, New York, has the biggest, if I'm not mistaken, either the second or the biggest KKK bunker. Like, what the hell? I couldn't believe it, man. Anyways, Let's not talk about that. I freaked out when I saw it. You know, it's like, what the hell? So that's it, man. Do you have, other than the design for old school tactical Italy,
Yeah.
you're doing old school tactical Afghanistan?
Well, it'll be like old school tactical modern, but the first
So
one will be in Afghanistan.
What years are we looking at?
I think you'd be looking at anywhere from probably Vietnam up.
Vietnam, okay.
Yeah. So where you're bringing in helicopters and then you're getting into guided missiles, stuff like that. So it'll be the basic system, but there'll be, of course, new rules for the modern stuff.
So you said you're going to bring the helicopters. You're doing a Vietnam game. Is that right?
Not yet. Like I say, the first modern one will be in Afghanistan there.
And old school tactical, man, I can't remember. Do we have planes?
No, just there's airstrikes, but it's abstracted.
So how
I don't have the little planes coming in or nothing like that.
How are you going to do that with Afghanistan? How are you're going to implement planes, right?
Well, there'll be like helicopters and stuff like that. Like a helicopter could be a counter, basically like a tank almost, if it's on board.
So but the planes is going to be off board.
Yeah, the planes would be like an abstracted thing again.
Now, is there a reason why you did that?
Well, basically, if you put like an airplane counter on there and everything else, then you're gonna have to plot pass and have anti-air and this whole other layer of things when it's just going to be one tick of the battle.
So you're doing house to house mostly.
Well, that map there, it's all compounds, so there'd be a lot of. It's a different type of fight, and that's for sure, against the Taliban, stuff like that. There's some very different scenarios in that, like hostages and stuff like that. And
oh wow, okay.
And it's pretty next level.
And when is the ETA for something like that, man?
That will be next year sometime.
Really, that quickly, eh?
I've been working on it now for quite a while. It like I say, it all depends on Mark's publishing schedule.
And does the range change in the game from old school tactical to something like Afghanistan? The scale, not the range, the scale.
No, the scale is still 50-meter hexes.
Okay, and it's going to be all hexes. No, because I know Lock and Load Publishing did Day of Days, and they had square.
Yeah. Nothing
like that, eh?
No, it's still basically the same basic system. Say you got the same hex grid and stuff like that. The same 50-meter hexes, 2 to 5 minute time for a turn, and yeah. So it's
and the map itself, is the map a creation of yours? Meaning, like it's just a generic.
Yeah.
Nothing
historical for that. Like the Arctic, the alert base map, the Arctic one, that is based on the actual base. So the buildings were like from the satellite photography and stuff like that. But the Afghanistan stuff is strictly terrain from that area.
Hey, good question here, man. If the scale doesn't change, modern weapons, as Mickey says here, operate at much longer ranges. That means you'll have what? If you have line of sight, you'll just have the range will be much greater.
Well, there's not going to be a lot of like this Afghanistan map. There's not going to be a lot of guided stuff where they're like Milans and stuff like that. So you're not going to have like I don't know what the if I went to something like, say, Cold War Gone Hot on like the fold the map or something like that, you might have to increase the range for some of it, maybe 100-meter hexes, but I haven't got there yet.
Okay.
I know what he's saying for like the long distance
Yeah.
guided missiles and stuff like that.
Are you going to have any of that? You're going to have any what do you call javelins and all that?
Yeah, stuff like that. But like in the Afghanistan, there's not going to be. Well, you're still looking at. Still probably looking at. You're still probably looking at like 500 meters across the short edge of the map, and maybe a kilometer long or whatever.
Okay. And also, you said in our conversation here, you said you wanted to do hypothetical scenarios, and like the Arctic one involving the Canadians. Who are they fighting against?
Well, that would be against the Russians.
And what era? What year would that be?
That'd be like now.
So the Canadians are going to fight the Russians. Now we're going to get killed.
It'd just be like a small thing.
Man, I mean, we don't have the weapons these guys have, man.
That would be a small, like that base is really small.
And so why are we fighting the Russians?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you're the designer of the game. Like, how did that come up? The Canadians fighting the Russians.
I just always thought that was a cool base up there, and like it's the northernmost base in the world, and it's just like a small base. And I just thought, well, that would be something to see if, like, say, the Russians dropped off like from subs, just like some Spetsnaz and stuff like that. So
the base is in Alaska, or is it in Canadian territory?
It's in Canadian territory. It's up above the Arctic Circle. It's just a small base, and it's like an early warning radar, all this kind of stuff.
I mean, this is an actual base, right?
Yeah, it's alert. Canadian Forces Base alert.
And what's the population at that base?
Oh, I don't know, not a lot. I think it's under 100.
Man, that much? I thought it was like 6. You know, I'm thinking of like the scenario in The Thing.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what got me thinking about it.
And it's funny I mentioned The Thing. What about like a horror game like The Thing type? No.
No, I kind of got like something kind of like that, but it's something else. Can't really talk about right now.
Really?
Yeah, it's different. It's not really a war game. It's kind of a crossover game, but it's pretty cool.
And some publisher is interested?
Oh, Mark said he would publish it. It's we haven't really got around to it.
So we can't talk about it, huh?
Well, it's just different. It's cool. And
is this going to be a Flying Pigs production or a Tiny Battle production?
I don't know. I haven't really. I've only played it with Mark once a couple years ago, and I've been working on all kinds of other stuff at the same time. So
it's funny you say you can't talk about it, because even David Thompson, I can't talk about it. I can't. Now, why the secrecy?
No real secrecy. It's just kind of like on a slow burn. I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Yeah, but don't you want to hype it up, man?
Oh, when it comes time, I will.
Man. That's funny, though. I mean,
I can show you something with it.
Oh, is this an exclusive?
Here's the map. I don't know if you can see it.
Well, I see it. It's a bit. I think from what I see here, your video is very choppy.
Oh, okay. Well, it's Manhattan.
Manhattan.
Yeah.
You couldn't keep it in Canada, huh?
I always like Manhattan. I like the island.
There's no sun in Manhattan, man.
And there's some cards for it.
Hold on. Well, hold on a second. I know that. That's the same artwork for point blank.
No. Well, it's probably a lot of similar styling.
And what kind of weapon is that? I can't see very well. What kind of tank?
That's a striker.
And so we're talking modern, right?
Yeah, but it's like there's factions. Like there's U.S. faction cards. There's like 5 different factions and stuff.
Is this, without giving too much away, is this like a Fallout type of game?
No, it's mostly it's kind of it's like a semi-cooperative part of it, and then there's also like a strictly confrontational game.
Deck building, the mechanics.
Deck building. Decks are used for your units and stuff like that, but it's not deck building.
It's not deck building. And
No.
Any luck cards in here?
They're not really called luck cards. They're like there's like a card every turn, and it can be like an event. It can be a special bonus to a side and stuff like that.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. He wants to start something here. How about a game where the Quebecois struggle for independence goes hot? Obviously, Mickey, are you a Quebecer? Because it almost went hot a couple of years ago. It's true, eh, Shayne? You don't have to deal with that, man.
What do you mean?
You don't have to deal with all this Quebec politics stuff.
Oh, I thought we all had to if we watch the news.
Yeah,
so.
because I say it affects the rest of Canada. But you know, they have a reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, any other special news?
No, I just got other people's games coming out. I've been working on some of my own. And
What kind of dog is that, man?
Golden Retriever. I think he's ready for his walk.
Okay. Well, you know, okay, Shayne, let's cut it. Thanks for doing this, man. I wish I could pull out more information from you, but you're a tough cookie. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to speak to Mark there. We're going to see what's going to happen. And thanks, Mickey and Kenneth, for your questions. And hold on, Shayne. I'm going to do my special outro. And what can I tell you? Life is life. Just hold on. Thanks, people, for watching.
Hey, thanks for having me on.